Hi everyone, my name is Julie Singer and this is my intervention assessment video. So the research article I chose to talk about for this assignment that I had in my paper is called Teach-Based Group Social Skills Training for Children with High Functioning Autism, a Pilot Randomized Control Trial. And there were many authors. One of them was Kyoko Ichikawa, and there's 7 others. The interesting thing about this study is that the researchers noticed that past research regarding the TEACH model, which is one of the interventions that I focus on for my paper, saw a lack in data in Asian countries. So this study was actually done in Japan, but it's extremely relatable in the sense that they focused on teach-based social skills training for children with high functioning autism and their mothers and how it affects their mothers, which is very interesting and something I've never seen so far in my research. So the participants were 11 children with high functioning autism between the ages of 5 and 6, and they had weekly 2-hour sessions. So they had a total of 20 sessions over 6 months. The dependent variables were the social skills that were being evaluated, and they evaluated and targeted many social skills. Some examples included controlling emotions when some of the participants lost a game, inviting a peer or another participant to play, borrowing things, and some nonverbal communication skills like identifying facial expressions when someone lost or when someone won, what to say, how to know, the proper response, and turn taking. And the independent variable was the TEACH program interventions, which included some visual schedules, and the results were that it was effective in teaching some adaptive behaviors and these social skills and reciprocity, so some social initiations and exchanges, and the parent aspect of it, there was less stress with regards to some parent-child interventions and interactions. Some of the limitations included there was a limited sample size. It was a small group of participants, and there probably is more research needed for a wider range of participants and, potentially not just high-functioning autism individuals, but potentially low-functioning or individuals that need more support. So what I did was thought about this article. There was a lot to unpack and a lot that was targeted, and I thought about my students. I teach at a public charter school in New York City just for kids with autism between the ages of 5 and 21, and I am a head teacher in a classroom with 3 students between the ages of 16 and 18, 2 males and 1 female, and one is completely nonverbal and uses a communication device, which is amazing. So a lot of her goals have to do with teaching her functional ways to communicate using that device. But I thought about one of my male students who is 17 years old. He has autism. He has language, but a lot of it is scripted. He doesn't initiate many social interactions and is very prompt dependent. He is a visual learner, so he can read, but it takes time to teach him some words. In terms of like sounding out words, he doesn't do that. So it's more of like teaching him errorlessly. A lot we teach is errorlessly. So in addition, in terms of his expressive language, it's really important for his parents to increase his social interaction with not just his teachers, but his peers and his parents. His intonation and articulation needs a lot of work. Sometimes it's really hard to understand what he's saying unless you know him. And we're always trying to find unique ways and new and creative ways to increase his expressive language and social skills. So I thought he would be perfect for this. And it also made me think about ways that I can incorporate something like this into my actual teaching. So what I thought would be great was to use the skill of turn taking as the dependent variable in this, you know, research article, as if I'm doing it with my student. And what the independent variable would be some type of visual schedule with text prompts embedded. Again, prompt dependent, lack social initiations. So in our school, we have 4 classrooms that are the upper school, so it's a students above age 13, and each room is dedicated to a different domain. So we have one room that's the game room. So we operate 4 classrooms like a high school, and we switch every half hour so that each classroom gets to be in each classroom gets to be in each space and practice IEP goals in each space dedicated to that domain. So in the game room, it's classroom 7 of my school. We spend a half hour in there every day. There's tons of games. There's a TV with the Wii, and it's perfect for IEP related goals, having to do with social interactions, initiations, turn taking, and things like that. So I thought it would be perfect. He does have some IEP goals related to that. And this visual schedule would cue to him into getting materials, setting up the game, and the peers are already going to be sitting there. So essentially it would be a text-based visual schedule. Now, the text prompts for turn taking are not embedded in the visual schedule because it's something that we want to fade. So it's something that the teacher, me, is going to be responsible for. So either it's my turn or your turn. And to meet the IP goal, we are going to use the text prompt. So I have these instructional materials that I wanted to demonstrate, and the way that I'm going to collect the data is here. So we have target skill would be, we're first going to just start with your turn. So target skill, your turn. The prompt, it's going to be a text prompt. And the criterion to move on to the next aspect of this, or target, is 2 scores of 90 or above. So at our school, that's typically what criterion is to evaluate the student being able to independently demonstrate a skill before we can move on. And I have dates here. So say it's, we have off one day, 4-day week. Frequency of data collection at our school is typically 2 days minimally. We're running these programs every day. We should be taking data every day. And then I just made a key on the bottom. So if they get it correct, it would be a plus, a minus, incorrect. And typically we do it out of 10 trials. So it's a per opportunity program. And what's going to happen is, again, the goal is for him to say, for him to take a turn, then say your turn, wait nicely for his peer to go, then cue his peer, oh, it's my turn. But I don't want to do both at once. I want to target one. So again, like I said, the data collection, first one's going to be your turn, text prompt. There's also going to be a way that we're going to systematically fade the text prompt. So typically what we'll do is when he gets 2 scores of 90 or above using this text prompt, we're going to take this word out, and then we're going to take this word out. Once he masters that, then we're just going to have the presence of a blank card and then eventually nothing. So we're systematically fading the text prompt. In the beginning, when I first teach this, basically what it's going to look like is, let's say we have 2 students next to each other. This student that I'm targeting for this program is going to take his turn, and I'm going to cue him in by pointing to it. I'm not going to say anything verbally because I don't want him to become prompt dependent on my verbal prompts, which are typically so difficult for my students, and I think individuals with autism in general, to fade those prompts. They become really prompt dependent. So I gesture towards, they're playing Jenga. I gesture towards it, which means he takes his turn. Right before he finishes his turn, I'm going to immediately bring this in front of him, and I'm going to say, your turn, and he's going to say it. So this is a way that I'm airlessly teaching him what this says and when he needs to say it. I'm not giving him any opportunity to fail or read this incorrectly, because he's going to embed that error, and that is the last thing that I want. Now, because the prompt is a text prompt, if he reads this correctly with my help, because it's part of the condition, it would be a plus. So again, he reads this correctly, plus. He doesn't, let's say I help him 9 times, the 10th trial, if I give it to him independently and he doesn't get it, that would be a minus. But in the beginning, errorless teaching always so important. So again, when he gets 2 scores of 90 or above with this, I'm going to fade it by 1 word. Then it's just going to say your with a line. If he shows me that he's not demonstrating it, I'm going to probably do some problem solving and change what I'm doing. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this and that you maybe could learn something from the idea that I had. I definitely am excited to try this at school. Text prompts are so beneficial and can really support our students in a really positive way and teach them really important and skills that are just really great for them. And again, we want them interacting with each other as much as we can get them to. I think this would be a great way. If you have any questions about why I made the decisions I did for this activity, leave a comment on the video. I'm interested to hear what everyone's feedback is and also see what everyone came up with on their own. Thank you.